What is up YouTube, Chess here, and today I'm here with
Marc Hermes.
Marc Hermes. So, we're here in the EU Championship, and what did you play, how did you perform today?
I chose to play Mathmech for this event, and I finished at top 128.
Nice.
I went 10-2 after Swiss, I think, and then just lost immediately in top cut. So
That is
yeah.
crazy, nice. So, Mathmech, yeah, show us the deck.
Yeah, of course. It's basically pretty standard. You play 3 of the new guy, the circular. He's like obviously the best card in the deck, the starter. 3 damager. Some people choose to play 2. I think this card is insanely good because it allows you to just combo through a lot of hand traps if you just draw him. 3 of the addition extender and 3 of the subtraction. They're basically just extra names that combo very well with the diameter, just as the 2-card combo. And then I chose to play 2 Sigma because the third one doesn't really come up that often. You always handle with circular anyway, so if you have circular axis, you always have Sigma as well. And then I chose to play 1 multiplication as well, but no Nabla, because Nabla comes up for some OTK lines, but multiplication comes up even more, especially because it helps you access code OTK even through imperm and effect veiler like cards, because the doubling of the multiplication just stays even after the effect negation. So those were like the Mathmech monsters. And I played 2 super factorial because first of all I did play desires, and second of all I think 2 sometimes comes up in the grind game. Without desires I would just play 1 though. Equation is very important for quite a few OTK lines. Usually you even keep it in post siding if you go second. Going first you can sometimes side it out. Consistency wise I did play 3-sided mining. It just searches circular or diameter, whatever you need at the point. And I played 2 small world to just, yeah, again, search Sigma, not Sigma, search diameter or circular, which is always just the most important card in your deck. If you see them, you're probably in a good spot. I played eccentric as a bridge, which is not uncommon, but it's sometimes people chose some other hand traps as the bridge. I like this one as the main deck Mystic Mine Out, which is kind of convenient because I just didn't want to play like Harpy's Feather Duster. So I just thought I just have a Mystic Mine Out and a good bridge as well, because this is just like, oh, it fixes everything. It connects the Mathmechs to other Mathmechs. Nice. It connects hand traps to other hand traps as well. It's just very versatile as a bridge. Then I played 2 desires, obviously. This deck should probably always be on desires because you don't really care that much about benching anything, except for maybe super factorial, but that doesn't really matter that much, so just play 2 desires, it's really good. Pop by the Grave, probably the best card of the format in most decks. Every deck is gonna run it in the main deck. Yeah. There's a lot of hand traps running around, it's good going second and first. It stops combos if you don't need to use it for hand traps as well, so it's just insanely good.
Yeah.
Then for the hand traps, the ratios are a bit weird, but I chose to play 2 Ash because I just didn't think it was like the most impactful hand traps. Drawing 2 of it is really bad, and I just had to cut down on some cards, and in the end one of the Ash was the one card that got cut. Played 2 DD Crow and 1 Ghost Spell. The 1 Ghost Spell is kind of the 3rd DD Crow-ish. It's really searchable with the small world as well. So if you didn't use small world, you didn't need it for your combo, you can sometimes search this to make your super factorial go through even through like DD Crow or Called by the Grave. Play 3 impermanents and 1 Veiler. The Veiler is kind of like the bridge as well. It's also just solid hand trap in general. Same with impermanents. I really like that this card is good going first and second. In the mirror, you probably just always keep this as well for the IP Masquerena, so really strong hand trap. 3 Dark Ruler, probably necessary in almost every deck, whether you go first or second. Like, you just need to main deck this card. And then 2 triple tech. It's alright. It didn't perform super well for me, but it's fine. If you resolve this to a hand loop, you just win the game immediately. So that's fine. Yep. Alright, I played 2 Alambertian. Third one doesn't really come up. You do need 2 though, because this is for your first turn, and for the third turn you go into it again. 2 Laplacian, This is what you summon off of Super Factorial, obviously. And the second one comes up in when you try to break boards and you can't OTK, so you set up like, you go into this, going second, break the board, and then set up Super Factorial so you can go into this again during your opponent's turn. It comes up quite often, so I would always want to play 2 of those. For the standard combo, you go Disciple Devotee, and then Wicked, and you trigger Wicked with Lingurevo. This plays around Imperm as well, kinda. And this is just like how you do like the main combo to search diameter. I played IP with the target of Appaloosa. The main combo always ends on Wicked, Lingurevo, IP. So you can always protect your Super Factorial with Appaloosa from like DD Crow or Ghost Spell. For the OTK lines, we played Update Jammer, Splash Mage, Transcode, and Access Code Talker. I mean, these cards are pretty self-explanatory. Update Jammer is for some OTK lines where you cannot dump multiplication to boost the attack of Access Code. So this is just like if you have extra bodies, you can always go for this. It's pretty good. And I played one Final Sigma for some other easy OTK lines. Yeah. Basically, I think the reason this deck has an advantage over some other decks is that it has really easy access to OTKs. So having this as another way to like guarantee that you can do your win condition pretty easily and early on, I think it's just really solid.
And the Flunder matchup.
Yeah, well, I did play against one Flunder, but I didn't even need to summon this guy. But in theory, yes, that is how you pretty easily win.
Nice.
Right, for the side deck, I decided to play 3 Appointer and 3 Rivalry for my going first cards. I just wanted something that mostly just hits Tier and Splight. So this is a pretty good floodgate against both of them. Also hits some other rogue strategies. Not good in the mirror, but in general it's pretty strong. And this card is probably my favorite card in the side deck. It won me basically every single game that I saw it. You just snipe out whatever like you need to know, and then you can play around like triple tactics talents maybe, play around Dark Ruler better. So it's just really good in giving information and just getting rid of the key cards. For back removal, 1 red reboot, 1 feather duster, 2 twin. I would have liked to play a third twin, but I just didn't find the space, so these 4 just were the minimal amount for me. I did decide to play 3 Nibiru because some people just don't play around it anymore. Against Splight, it's always just like, sure, it's not great, but it's really good if you have another hand trap. And that's always the case with Splight, I think. Like, you need 2 hand traps usually to stop them anyway. So whether it's this or another one doesn't really matter. And this one is really strong if it resolves. So I just thought this was a really nice copy. Some people just stopped playing around it. And then I did side 2 Lava Golems as well. This is pretty nice against a lot of decks. Winder, Locks, obviously, totally awesome and all of that. It's also searchable with Small World, and a lot of people do forget that. Basically, every card in my deck just gets into Lava Golem with Small World because of the Archfiend Eccentric, which is also a Fiend. So they will usually never negate the Small World when you shotgun it because it's a neg 1 inherently. Then you search the Lava Golem, and then they're kind of screwed sometimes.
Nice.
So,
nice profile.
In general, like the only thing that I would like to say about the extra deck maybe in the end was I decided not to play the Heat Soul because I just thought it never really came up, and my going first line is always going to be the Disciple Devotee to go into the IP Masquerena, and I just thought that was more value and played around more things in general. But that's it.
Nice. Marc, thank you so much. Do you want
Thanks
to
for
give
having
any
me.
shout-outs?
Well, shoutouts to, first of all, the Mathmech Discord server. Great people, really like them. Also shoutouts to the Airbnb and the guys I stayed with during the weekend. And shoutouts to Tim, the guy I play tested with and did some theory crafting and deck building for Mathmech.
Nice, great. Hey, Marc, see you later and have a nice day.
Alright, man,
Bye,
thanks.
everyone.
See ya.
Yeah.